Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Tasha Holtman, that's Nathan Fox. I'm a teacher and tutor with the Demon.
And I'm one of the co-founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. Thanks for coming on, Tasha. We have an email here from Joshua. I'll go ahead and read it, and then we can do some random speculations. That sound good?
Perfect.
It says, when filling applications out, I saw Washington University in St. Louis allows applicants to redact their GPA or LSAT. Their application says it's, quote, part of WashU law's mission to make law school more accessible and is recommended for applicants who feel their personal achievements and background are far superior to their undergraduate academic credentials or test scores, end quote. I'd imagine that they still report the redacted scores to the ABA. They're not a bottom feeder school trying to get people to apply any way they can. So I was intrigued to hear your thoughts. Very respectfully, Joshua. All right, so Tasha, you have the ABA standard 509 information report up. Weirdly, when we were setting up to record this episode, we looked for it on the WashU website, and at least I found a broken link to their 509 report. So I went to lsatdemon.com/scholarships. That's our scholarship estimator. And the scholarship estimator is a really useful tool for figuring out what kinds of schools you might want to apply to with various GPAs and scores. But it also has a link straight to the PDF for the 2020 version of the Washington University Standard 509 Information Report. So you've got that up, Tasha, yeah?
Yep.
All right. What do you think we can learn from this information report that might answer Joshua's question?
Looking at this report, it says that there are 238 students in the first year class, and 4 students did not have their LSATs included in the calculations for 25th, 50th, and 75th percentile. And for GPAs, that number is 14. While I can't say this with with certainty, these numbers seem really low, and I would suspect that if they don't have your LSAT or your GPA, they're going to assume that it's particularly low, which would just highlight any questions they might already have about your application. And they don't know how low of a GPA they're going to have to count or how low of an LSAT. And so they're probably going to be more likely to take someone, even if you're a splitter, they're going to be more likely to take someone with the higher LSAT and the lower GPA if they know exactly what they're getting themselves into. So I think for the most part, unless you've got something like a 2.7 or a 150, you should probably submit them.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that unless they've changed since, they admitted this class, which we won't know until we have the new 509 information report, which should come out soon. But unless they've changed something significant, they are reporting LSAT for all but 4 out of 238 applicants, which means that they're willing to make an exception for people who have like really unique circumstances, but they're not making that exception for very many people. They need your LSAT. Same thing with GPA, although slightly different. And I would speculate that might have something to do with international applicants. If you're coming from if you came from a school where they don't even give you a GPA and the LSAC, they can't even come up with like a reasonable approximation of what your GPA is, but still that's only 14 out of 238 in the class. So it's something like 5%, 6% where they're not reporting a GPA. And it's more like 2% or 1.5% where they're not reporting an LSAT. So WashU can say all they want that, their mission is to make law school more accessible, blah, blah, blah. But we're looking at the vast majority of all of their applicants have both LSAT and GPA on their 509 report. Since we're talking about WashU, WashU is an interesting school. I've always had my eye on WashU, and many other applicants, especially high LSAT applicants, are WashU aggressively tries to recruit applicants. And Tasha, you were commenting their profile, both LSAT and GPA and their scholarship profile just looked different from many other schools. What do you think's going on here? Or what, maybe make some comments about that.
Yeah. I think WashU is making a very concerted effort and has for several years to make its way into the top 14. It has exceptionally high median GPA, median and 75th percentile GPAs that rival only those of T6 schools, which really caught me by surprise.
Yeah, specifically. Okay, so this was from their 2020 standard 509 information report. The 50th percentile LSAT is 169 and the 75th percentile is only 170. So it's really compressed, right? Like that second quartile at WashU is all 169s and 170s. Then we've got 25% who have higher than a 170. And then the bottom half of the class, though, because the 25th percentile is all the way down at 162. Weird, right? So an 8-point spread between the 25th and the 75th percentile is unusual, and a 7-point spread between the 25th and the 50th is also unusual.
I think they're probably pretty splitter friendly.
Sure seems like it, because GPA,
yeah.
Same thing. GPA has a 50th percentile of 3.88, which is ridiculously high. A 75th percentile of 3.95, which is, I mean, that's like Harvard, Yale, Stanford type of number. But then their 25th percentile, they are clearly admitting people who have GPAs that are well below. With a 3.4 25th percentile, that does not look at all like a T3 or T6 school. Want to talk about the scholarships a little bit?
Yeah, so looking here, it looks like about 70% of their students received merit scholarships.
Nope, more.
Or half to full tuition.
More. So more. Yeah. Of 718 students at the school.
Oh, wow.
677 of them got a grant of
yeah,
some
that's about
sort.
95%.
Yeah, it says the tuition nominally is $30,000 a semester. I'm just reading off of the report. I think sometimes that the reports are wrong and that could be per year, but anyway.
Oh, that would be per semester.
Yeah, I think you're right. I do think it's 30,000 a semester.
Yeah.
But 94% of their class paid something less than that. So Tasha, who are the people at WashU who have a 162 LSAT and a 3.4 GPA?
To be completely blunt, they're the people who are going to be paying my tuition.
Yeah, right. Tasha's tuition and all the other people who take our advice and, get a scholarship to law school, because yeah, it's a fact that there are 6% of the people at WashU who are actually paying the full price. 94% are paying something less than full price. 14% of the class gets a shitty less than half tuition offer. I mean, those people are also getting ripped off basically, because 53% of the class is getting half to full tuition. Another 18% of the class is getting exactly full tuition. And then another 9% of the class is getting more than full tuition. When you add up 53 plus 18 plus 9, you get 70% of the class at WashU getting more than half of that tuition covered by grants. And what that means is you don't want to be paying tuition at this school. My speculation would be, because I want to take it back to Joshua's question here, my speculation would be that the people who are getting their GPAs or their LSATs redacted from this report, that's what the scholarships are for. The scholarships are for your LSAT and your GPA, and they give almost everybody a scholarship. So sure, you can omit your LSAT and GPA from your application to WashU, but if you do that, well, I'm willing to be surprised, but I want to hear from somebody, and you can email daily@lsatdemon.com. I want to hear from somebody who actually did redact their LSAT or GPA and still got one of these scholarships. Because my guess is you're going to be in the 6% of people who are paying full price, or the 14% of people who are paying more than half of the full price. You're not going to be in the 70% of the people who are getting half or more paid for.
And
wait a second, I did that math wrong the whole time. It's not even 70%, it's 80%. What? 53 plus 18 plus 9 is 80%.
Oh yeah. Well, so that's better than my mathematical error. So
it's 80% of the people at WashU who are getting more than half of their tuition covered by grants and scholarships. It's only 20% of the people at WashU who are paying more than half of the nominal tuition. Don't be in that 20%, y'all. That is a really bad deal. All right, anything else for Joshua?
Yeah, actually, I do have one side note specific to WashU. While I don't recommend redacting your GPA or LSAT unless it's truly horrendous and you're willing to pay sticker price, they do have 10-minute free counseling sessions with an admissions officer that you can sign up for on their website. And I would highly recommend taking advantage of that. I did. It was a really helpful experience. And
Why was it helpful?
Well, so I had a question about how they would view the jump in my LSAT score. And they gave me what I felt was very, very candid advice. They told me there was no need to write an addendum. And it was nice to hear that coming out of an admissions officer's mouth.
Okay, so they at least told you that they are only caring about the highest score, which obviously is correct for them to do. I mean, the game that's being played here, they have to report the high LSAT score to the world. So why do they give a shit about lower LSAT scores? I mean, that's how they got their 75th percentile of 170, is by only caring about people's highest LSAT score. So they were able to, okay. Did they do anything else that was helpful during that 10 minutes?
That was really the only question I had for them.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to remind people that I even if their heart's in the right place, I just don't think that admissions folk have incentives that are aligned with applicants' incentives. I mean, their job is to be super nice and friendly and encouraging and get you to apply to their school. That's the job. And in that 10 minutes, I mean, I just don't think that they're going to try to make you a better applicant to any other school, because why would they try to make you a better applicant to any other school? They want you to apply to their school, and they're not really interested in making you a better applicant. At least they have no incentive to do that.
Yeah. So in short, I would recommend not redacting. And if you have any questions or comments, email daily@lsatdemon.com. Thanks for listening.